Jax Rylan had two problems: a rapidly dwindling oxygen supply in his suit, and a debt to the notoriously unforgiving crime boss Kael the Brutal that was due in 3 solar cycles. Both were terminal. His current solution, sifting through the decaying guts of a forgotten space hulk, was less a plan and more a desperate gamble. He floated through the silent, cavernous interior of what was once a majestic cruiser, its hull cracked open like a gutted fish. This was the Iron Serpent, a legend among scavengers, rumored to hold untold riches, but also guarded by untold horrors. So far, all Jax had found were empty cargo bays, skeletal remains of long-dead crew, and enough space dust to choke a star whale. His personal scanner, a relic he'd bought off a drunk engineer, chirped mournfully, indicating dwindling power. His own ship, the ancient, sputtering rust bucket, bobbed forlornly outside, its life support barely clinging to life. Anything at all? Jax muttered into his comms, his voice raspy from lack of hydration. He was talking to himself, of course. His last crewmate had jumped ship when Kael's enforcers made a house call. Then his scanner shrieked. Not the usual whine of depleted power, but a frantic, insistent alarm. A strong, anomalous energy signature, deep within the Iron Serpent's core. Hope, a dangerous emotion Jax rarely entertained, flared in his chest. "Bingo," he whispered, pushing off a bulkhead, propelling himself deeper into the derelict. He navigated through twisted metal and collapsed corridors, the air thick with the smell of ozone and decay. He found it in a vast, dark chamber, humming faintly. Not a weapon, not a treasure chest, but a column of swirling, ethereal energy encased in a crystalline lattice. It was clearly alien, unlike anything he'd ever seen. It was the ship's core, the heart of any vessel. But this wasn't just any core. It radiated power, intelligence, a silent call that resonated deep within his own tech-savvy mind. As he reached out, a jolt of energy arced from the core, slamming into his suit. His scanner exploded in his hand, and a wave of raw data flooded his consciousness, overloading his senses. He saw diagrams, schematics, strings of alien code, and then a shimmering blue screen exploded into existence before his eyes, superimposed over his view of the chamber. Warning. Unidentified biosignature detected. Bonding sequence initiated. Legacy ship core unidentified has activated. Jax gasped, not from pain, but from the sheer, overwhelming information. He was seeing the ship. Not just the physical hulk, but its very essence. And then a series of windows like digital ghosts overlaid his vision. "Welcome, Captain. You have bonded with a legacy ship core. Ship class assigned, derelict Scavenger, Tier 0, unique. Ship name, Iron Serpent, renaming available. Ship character sheet. Name, Iron Serpent class, derelict Scavenger, Tier 0. Hull integrity, 10-100, damaged. Shield capacity, 0-50, offline. Speed, 5 to 50. Impulse only, power output, 10-100. Minimal weapon systems, 0-0, offline. Engineering, basic, efficiency, 5%. Astrometrics, basic, accuracy, 10%. Crew. Capacity, 0-1 minimal. Experience, 0-100. Requires activation. Shut. Trait, Legacy Core, Tier 0, unique. This core contains ancient, dormant alien technology. Allows for unique skill trees and module compatibility. Progressing this core unlocks forgotten capabilities. Special condition, critical damage. Ship requires immediate repair and power restoration. Initial quest, Awakening the Serpent. Description, bring the Iron Serpent back to minimal operational status. Objective, restore hull integrity to 25%, power output to 25%. Reward, 100 ship experience plus 1 engineering skill point, basic repair drone. Module. Jax stared at the screens, his mind reeling. A ship with a character sheet. A legacy core that was unique. He, Jax Rylan, a simple scavenger, had just stumbled upon a literal LitRPG starship, and it was desperately damaged. He felt a deep, resonant connection to the ship, a hunger for power and repair that echoed his own desperation. His breath caught in his throat. This wasn't just a big score. This was a second chance. And just in time, his oxygen warning light began to blink critically. He needed to get the Iron Serpent online, and fast. Suddenly, a loud metallic groan echoed through the chamber, followed by a series of heavy thuds. Something else was in the Iron Serpent. Something big, and it was moving towards him. The thuds grew louder, punctuated by the screech of metal on metal. Whatever was approaching, it was heavily armored and not friendly. Jax, still processing the monumental discovery of his living starship, felt a primal surge of fear. His oxygen was critical, his suit's power failing, and he was trapped in a dying hulk with an unknown threat. He scanned the chamber wildly. The Iron Serpent's core pulsed weakly in front of him. His system interface, however, offered a sliver of hope. Initial quest: Awakening the Serpent. Description: Bring the Iron Serpent back to minimal operational status. Objective: Restore hull integrity to 25%, power output to 25%. Reward: 100 ship experience, plus 1 engineering skill point, basic repair drone, module. He had to get the core online. But how? He wasn't an engineer, not in the traditional sense. His expertise was scavenging. His eyes darted around the chamber. Derelict alien machinery was everywhere: twisted conduits, glowing crystals, energy cells. All trash to a normal scavenger, but to his new system-augmented vision, they were potential resources. Unidentified power conduit, damaged. Scavenge for raw alien materials, common. Broken energy cell depleted, scavenge for depleted energy fragments, a common. Twisted hull plating, reinforced, scavenge for reinforced alloys, uncommon. His old scanner might be dead, but his mind was now a living scanner. He had a faint blue aura around his hands, indicating his new connection to the ship. He reached out to a section of twisted hull plating. Attempting scavenge twisted hull plating. Requires basic scavenging skill. Scavenge successful. Acquired 5x reinforced alloys. He had a skill. Or rather, the ship had a skill, and he was its conduit. He frantically began pulling apart anything he could find, the heavy thuds of the approaching threat growing closer. With each successful scavenge, his new derelict scavenger class felt a little more defined. He was not just gathering. He was processing. Scavenge successful. Acquired 3x raw alien materials. Scavenge successful. Acquired 7x depleted energy fragments. He collected as much as he could, then looked at his ship character sheet. There was a faint repair tab now visible under hull integrity and power output. He mentally focused on the hull. Repair hull integrity, 0025%. Requires 10x reinforced alloys. He had 5x reinforced alloys. Not enough. He desperately searched for more, his visor fogging. The thuds were right outside the chamber now. A guttural growl vibrated through the floor. He found another section of plating, barely clinging to a bulkhead. He tore it off. Scavenge successful. Acquired 5x reinforced alloys. You have 10x reinforced alloys. He immediately initiated the repair. A faint golden shimmer enveloped a section of the Iron Serpent's visible hull, cracks slowly mending, exposed wiring retracting, hull integrity restored to 25%. One objective complete. Now for power. Restore power output 0.25%. Requires 15x depleted energy fragments and 5x raw alien materials. He had 7x depleted energy fragments and 3x raw alien materials. Not enough. The heavy steel door to the chamber groaned, then began to buckle inward. A massive clawed hand, covered in thick putrid scales, began to tear at the metal. A grave worm, elite, level 10, a monstrous space-dwelling creature, a scavenger of derelicts just like him, but far more dangerous. He scavenged like a madman. Ignoring the screech of metal, the monstrous roars. He needed 8 more depleted energy fragments and 2 more raw alien materials. He pulled power cells from consoles, ripped conduits from walls. Scavenge successful. Acquired 4x depleted energy fragments. Scavenge successful. Acquired 2x raw alien materials. Scavenge successful. Acquired 4x depleted energy fragments. You have 15x depleted energy fragments and 5x raw alien materials. He slammed his hand onto the core, initiating the power restoration. A hum growing stronger filled the chamber. The crystalline column of the core began to glow more brightly, a pulsating blue. Energy flowed through the ship's veins. Power output restored to 25%. Initial quest, Awakening the Serpent, complete. You have gained 100 ship experience. Ship name, Iron Serpent, has leveled up. Iron Serpent is now level 1. You have gained +1 engineering skill point. New module acquired, basic repair drone. As the Iron Serpent leveled up, a surge of power vibrated through Jax. The ship, his ship, was alive. He could feel it. And then, as if in response to his desperate plea, a small, multi-legged drone unfolded itself from a niche near the core, whirring to life. The basic repair drone. The grave worm finally tore open the door, its multiple eyes glowing with predatory hunger. It lumbered into the chamber, its massive claws tearing at the floor. Jax had no weapons, no skills to fight a level 10 monster. But he had a ship. A level 1 ship. And a plan, a desperate, crazy plan born of pure instinct. The grave worm, a monstrosity of chitin and writhing tendrils, filled the doorway, its predatory eyes fixed on Jax. A level 10 elite, and Jax was just a level 0 scavenger piloting a level 1 derelict. This was supposed to be the end. But the Iron Serpent felt different now. Alive. Connected. Jax's mind raced, fueled by desperation and the sudden, overwhelming connection to his ship. He didn't have weapon systems online, but the ship was an object. And objects could be moved. Quickly. He saw the basic repair drone whirring around the core. He had a skill point for engineering. He spent it. Engineering skill tree, current basic 5% efficiency. Skill point allocated to basic hull systems redundancy. Basic hull systems redundancy active. Briefly reroutes power to emergency thrusters and hull stabilizers, granting a burst of agility and minor damage resistance. Cooldown, 60 seconds. Power cost, 10. This wasn't an attack skill, but it was something. An escape skill. He had to get out of the chamber, get to his own rust bucket, and then get the Iron Serpent out of this derelict and into actual space. All right, big guy, Jax muttered to the grave worm. Let's see how you like being moved. He focused all his intent, his very will, into the Iron Serpent. Engage emergency thrusters. Full reverse! The Iron Serpent, a behemoth many times larger than the grave worm, shuddered. A guttural groan echoed from its deeper systems. With a grinding, metallic shriek, the massive derelict itself began to move. Not gracefully, but with immense, terrifying momentum, the grave worm focused on Jax was caught off guard. The Iron Serpent was still massive, immobile to most, but to Jax it was his body. The entire core chamber, with the monster still inside, began to slide backward, tearing away from the surrounding structure. The grave worm roared in fury, its claws digging into the floor trying to resist the colossal force. Basic hull systems redundancy. Activated. Power cost 10, remaining power output 15%. Iron Serpent level 1 is moving. Warning! Structural stress detected. The entire Iron Serpent was shaking apart, but it was moving. Jax guided it, pushing off the internal bulkheads, creating a path, however crude, back towards the gaping maw that had allowed him entry. He was literally piloting the derelict from its heart. The grave worm, enraged, detached itself from the floor and lunged towards Jax, its tendrils extended. Jax focused on his one active module, the basic repair drone. Drone, target, grave worm! Distract! The little drone, surprisingly agile, buzzed towards the monster, firing tiny, high-frequency pulses of energy that, while harmless, were incredibly irritating. The grave worm roared, momentarily distracted, its tendrils lashing out at the buzzing nuisance. That was all Jax needed. He continued to propel the Iron Serpent backward, the ship groaning, tearing itself free from the Iron Serpent's outer hull. The sheer size of the moving section created a vacuum, sucking debris and the grave worm's tendrils outwards. With a final, ear-splitting shriek of tortured metal, the core section of the Iron Serpent, a huge chunk of the derelict, containing its heart and Jax, finally tore free from the main hulk. It tumbled out into the blackness of space, a massive, ungraceful escape pod. The grave worm, caught in the vacuum, was flung out into the void, its roars diminishing as it was carried away by the momentum far from the newly liberated core Jax. His suit oxygen, critically low, barely registered the victory. He was outside, floating free. But he was still in a giant, unwieldy section of a derelict, rapidly losing life support. He looked at his almost dead rust bucket bobbing innocently a few hundred meters away. All right, Iron Serpent, he rasped. Time for your first actual flight. Get me to my ship. He could feel the impulse engines, weak, sputtering, but there, on the core section. He guided the enormous chunk of ship towards the rust bucket, using the last of his basic hull system's redundancy. The rendezvous was clumsy, a near collision, but he finally docked, his suit alarm blaring its final warning. He scrambled into his airlock, stripped off his suit, and gulped down the stale air of the rust bucket. He was safe. For now, he had escaped. And he now owned the heart of a legendary derelict. The Iron Serpent core section, now his level 1 ship, floated silently outside, an imposing, if still damaged, behemoth. He had a lot of work to do, and a lot of debt to pay. Jax slumped into the pilot's seat of the rust bucket, his body shaking with exhaustion. He had a level 1 sentient Starship core, a functional, if barely, personal vessel, and a fresh wave of adrenaline coursing through him. But the debt to Kael the Brutal loomed larger than ever. He had nothing to sell. All he had was the Iron Serpent core, and that wasn't exactly easy to pawn off. He linked the rust bucket to the Iron Serpent core section via a basic remote connection. His system interface, now projected cleanly onto his main console screen, glowed with possibility, ship name Iron Serpent. Class derelict Scavenger, Tier 0. Level 1 hull, integrity 25-100, damaged. Shield capacity 050, offline. Speed 550, impulse only. Power output 25-100, minimal. Weapon systems 00, offline. Engineering basic, efficiency 5%, basic hull systems redundancy, astrometrics basic, accuracy 10%. Crew capacity 01, minimal. Experience 0200. He had a huge problem. The Iron Serpent was still just a large chunk of metal. To be a proper ship, it needed basic components, a cockpit, proper engines, actual weapon systems. He couldn't fly this colossal piece of debris into civilized space without attracting unwanted attention. He needed to get it to a hidden location, find materials, and begin the arduous process of rebuilding. His first priority was more ship experience. The quest for awakening the serpent was done, but he needed new quests. He scanned the local space, checking for any anomalies or distress signals. Nothing. He was in a dead zone, deliberately, to avoid Kael's enforcers. Then a faint, almost imperceptible signal flickered on his long-range scanner, too weak for a normal ship to pick up. But the Iron Serpent core, even at level 1, was unique. Legacy core trait, anomalous signal detection, passive. The Legacy core can detect unusual energy signatures that often relate to ancient alien technology or hidden anomalies. New quest, Whispers of the Void. Description: a faint anomalous energy signature has been detected emanating from a nearby asteroid field. Investigate the source. Objective: reach the anomaly's coordinates. Reward: 50 ship experience, 1x anomaly data fragment. Rare. Anomalous signal, Jax muttered. Sounds like something juicy. He set the rust bucket on an impulse course towards the asteroid field, towing the enormous Iron Serpent core section behind him like a gigantic, unwanted shadow. Navigating the asteroid field was tricky. His rust bucket was slow, and the Iron Serpent core section was clunky. He used his engineering skills, still rudimentary, to try and optimize the towing speed. He felt the mental strain of piloting 2 ships at once, but the core was responsive, its nascent intelligence eager to assist. He reached the coordinates. It was a cluster of unusually large, dark asteroids, almost like a miniature star cluster. And at its heart, glowing with a soft internal light, was a smaller, perfectly spherical asteroid. It was completely alien, made of a material unlike any natural rock. Anomaly detected. Living asteroid. Tier 0, unique. Description: an unusual asteroid with signs of dormant organic technology. Action available, scan for resources, attempt to mine, bond with core. Living asteroid? Jax breathed. This just keeps getting weirder. He chose scan for resources. Scan successful. Resources detected. Organic hull plating, uncommon. Bioconductive wiring, rare. Dormant neural tissue, epic. Alien data fragment, rare. This was it. Raw materials for his Iron Serpent. This could be the start of rebuilding. He initiated attempt to mine. His rust bucket's ancient mining lasers fired, scraping against the asteroid's surface. The asteroid, surprisingly, didn't break apart. Instead, it subtly pulsed and more data flooded Jax's mind. Mining successful. Acquired 1x organic hull plating. Mining successful. Acquired 1x bioconductive wiring. Mining successful. Acquired 1x alien data fragment. Warning! Living asteroid integrity has decreased. Threat level passive, active. Anomaly. Detected. Living asteroid, Tier 0, unique, has activated defensive protocols. A section of the asteroid pulsed, then separated, forming a crude weaponized appendage. A small organic projectile launched from it, striking the Rust Bucket's shields. His shields, already weak, flickered. Rust Bucket shields 50%. New quest: defend against anomaly. Description: the living asteroid is defending itself. Neutralize its threat to continue mining. Objective: destroy living asteroid's weaponized appendage, 0-1. Reward: 100 ship experience, dormant neural tissue, epic. Oh, for crying out loud, Jax yelled. He had no weapon systems on the Iron Serpent yet, and the Rust Bucket's puny lasers were barely scratching the asteroid's appendage. He was going to lose his only other ship. He looked at his Iron Serpent's core. He had the basic repair drone, but that was for his ship, not his Rust Bucket. He had to think. He had just acquired organic hull plating and bioconductive wiring. He could install them into the Iron Serpent core, but that wouldn't help the Rust Bucket. Then, an idea, crazy and dangerous, sparked in his mind. He looked at the anomaly data fragment he'd just acquired. His legacy core trait was about unique tech. What if he could use this newly acquired fragment to somehow turn the Iron Serpent core into a weapon? He had to. He was out of time. The living asteroid's weaponized appendage pulsed, launching another organic projectile that slammed into the Rust Bucket's failing shields. Warning alarms blared. Jax had minutes, maybe seconds, before his only functional ship was reduced to space debris. He had no weapons for the Iron Serpent core, and the Rust Bucket's lasers were useless. He had to improvise. He had the anomaly data fragment and the legacy core trait. He also had the basic repair drone and an engineering skill point he hadn't spent yet. Engineering skill tree, current basic 5% efficiency. Skill point available. New option, basic module integration active. Allows the temporary integration of scavenged components or uninstalled modules into active systems, often with suboptimal efficiency or temporary side effects. Power cost varies, this was it. Basic module integration. He could use this to turn his junk into a weapon. But what? He looked at his inventory. Organic hull plating, bioconductive wiring. Not exactly projectile launchers, but he also had the drone. The basic repair drone. The drone was designed for repairs, but it fired pulses. Could he weaponize it? Power it up? All right, Iron Serpent, Jax muttered, his mind working at hyperspeed. Let's get creative. He focused his intent. Ship, integrate the basic repair drone into a temporary offensive module, powered by the bioconductive wiring. Focus through the organic hull plating as an energy conduit. This was less engineering and more wishful thinking guided by system mechanics. Attempting module integration, basic repair drone, plus bioconductive wiring, plus organic hull plating. Requires 1x engineering skill point, 10x power output. Module integration successful. New temporary module created, jury-rigged plasma spitter. Jury-rigged plasma spitter, temporary weapon module. Fires concentrated bursts of raw plasma. Damage, low, range, short. Fire rate, slow. Duration, 5 minutes. Power cost, 5 per shot. Note, highly unstable. May cause feedback loops or drain excessive power. Deactivates automatically after duration. A small, crude cannon formed on the side of the Iron Serpent core section. Made of glowing green biological matter and pulsing wiring, powered directly by the core. It was ugly, unstable, but it was a weapon. Jax grinned. Take that, you oversized space rock, he yelled, targeting the living asteroid's weaponized appendage. Fire! Jury-rigged plasma spitter. A burst of green plasma sputtered from the temporary cannon, arcing through the void. It struck the appendage. The asteroid appendage shuddered, a section of its organic material smoking. Living asteroid's weaponized appendage, hull, 80%. It wasn't much, but it was damage, and he had more shots. The appendage retaliated, another organic projectile hitting the rust bucket. Rust bucket shields, 20%. Faster, you ugly thing, Jax urged the Iron Serpent. He kept firing, shot after shot, draining his ship's precious power output. The jury-rigged plasma spitter hissed and groaned, clearly not meant for sustained fire. Jury-rigged plasma spitter power cost, 5 per shot. Remaining power output, 10%. Warning. Power output critical. Sustained fire will result in system shutdown. He had 1 shot left before total power failure. The asteroid appendage was still clinging to life. He aimed carefully, pushing all his mental focus into the Iron Serpent. 1 last shot. For the rust bucket, he fired. The plasma burst was more concentrated, more violent, as if the core itself was aware of the stakes. It slammed into the appendage, tearing it apart. Living asteroid's weaponized appendage destroyed. Quest: Defend against anomaly. Complete! You have gained 100 ship experience. Ship name Iron Serpent has leveled up. Iron Serpent is now level 2. New module acquired. Dormant neural tissue. Epic. The Iron Serpent leveled up just as its power output hit 0%, the temporary jury-rigged plasma spitter fizzling out and collapsing back into its base components. Jax watched in awe as the asteroid, now disarmed, ceased its attack. It was still a living thing, but dormant again. He had defeated it, not with brute force, but with ingenuity. His ship, his Iron Serpent, was level 2. This was incredible. The taste of victory was sweet, even with the looming debt. He could now safely mine the rest of the living asteroid for resources. And that dormant neural tissue, that sounded incredibly valuable, perhaps even enough to pay off Kael. With the living asteroid neutralized, Jax spent the next few hours meticulously mining its rich organic resources. The Iron Serpent core, now level 2, had enhanced scavenging capabilities, allowing him to extract more materials from the dormant asteroid. Scavenge successful. Acquired 10x organic hull plating. Scavenge successful. Acquired 5x bioconductive wiring. Scavenge successful. Acquired 3 dormant neural tissue. Epic. Scavenge successful. Acquired 2x alien data fragment. Rare. He had accumulated a significant hoard. The dormant neural tissue alone was worth a small fortune, potentially enough to pay off Kael or at least buy him more time. But he couldn't deliver it on his derelict rust bucket, and he certainly couldn't transport the entire Iron Serpent core section into a populated system without being swarmed by curious scavengers or worse, corporate bounty hunters. His primary objective shifted: find a hidden base, secure the Iron Serpent core, and begin building it into a functional ship. He checked his ship character sheet. Name: Iron Serpent class, derelict scavenger, tier 0. Level 2 hull integrity 25-100, damaged. Shield capacity 050, offline. Speed 550, impulse only. Power output 0-100, offline. Needs recharging. Weapon systems 00, offline. Engineering, basic, efficiency 5%. Basic hull systems redundancy. Astrometrics, basic, accuracy 10%. Crew capacity 0-1, minimal. Experience 0-300. He'd forgotten about the power drain. The jury-rigged plasma spitter had completely depleted the core. He needed to get it recharged. He had depleted energy fragments, but they weren't enough. He needed a proper power source or a dedicated engineer. His crew capacity was 0-1. He needed a crewmate. Even just one. Someone who could actually do things the ship needed, rather than him mentally willing it. He set a course for the nearest independent refueling station, a shadowy outpost known as the Greasy Spanner, located deep within a neutral asteroid nebula. It was the kind of place Kael's enforcers frequented, but also a haven for down-on-their-luck engineers and rogue mechanics. He cloaked the Iron Serpent core section as best he could, hiding it behind a large asteroid, and flew the rust bucket in alone. The Greasy Spanner was a chaotic mess of flickering neon lights, suspicious-looking characters, and the constant hum of welding torches. Jax kept his hood low, carrying a small encrypted data slate containing the basic stats of his Iron Serpent, omitting the legacy core detail, of course. He needed an engineer, someone who could help him jumpstart this beast. He found her slumped over a control panel in the station's grimy cantina, nursing a synthetic synthale. She was a scrawny, green-skinned alien, a Xylosian with large, expressive eyes and greasy overalls. Her name, according to the flickering tag on her chest, was Kira, and her system stats, as displayed in a faint overlay only he could see, were impressive. Kira, Xylosian engineer. Class, Tech Adept, Level 5. Skills, Advanced Power Management. Hull Plating Specialist, Droid Tinkerer, Jury-Rigged Solutions. Trait, Resourceful Scavenger. +20% 20% chance to find rare materials during salvaging. Current status, desperate for work, deeply indebted to station owner. Looking for work, Kira? Jax asked, sliding into the booth opposite her. She looked up, startled, her eyes narrowing. Who's asking? And how do you know my name, human? I know a lot of things, Jax said, a hint of his old scavenger charm in his voice. I've got a unique project. Requires a unique talent. You come highly recommended. He pushed the data slate across the table. Can you get this online? Kira glanced at the stats. Her eyes widened. This is an old world core. Heavily damaged, but the power output potential. This is a monster. Where did you get this? Let's just say I found it, Jax replied smoothly. Can you fix it? Recharge it? Make it sing? She squinted at him, clearly suspicious. What's the catch? And who are you? The catch is I'm flat broke, owe money to Kael the Brutal, and this thing is my only way out, Jax admitted, deciding on a calculated honesty. And I'm Jax. You fix this, you get a share of whatever this monster brings in. Plus, I can probably buy out your debt to the station owner. Kira considered him for a long moment. Kael the Brutal, huh? You got guts or you're an idiot. But a project like this, it's worth the risk. She slammed her hand on the table. Deal, but you better not be lying about that debt. New crewmate acquired. Kira, Xylosian engineer. Crew slot 101 minimal. Kira's Tech Adept. Class skills and traits are now available to the Iron Serpent. Ship name Iron Serpent has gained new skill option, Emergency Power Reroute, active. From Kira's Advanced Power Management. Ship name Iron Serpent has gained passive trait, Resourceful Scavenger. From Kira. Jax felt a surge of energy through his connection to the Iron Serpent. Kira wasn't just joining his crew. Her very skills were becoming integrated into the ship's capabilities. This was incredible. He had a level 5 engineer, even if she was scrawny and indebted. All right, Kira, Jax said, a genuine smile spreading across his face. Welcome to the Iron Serpent. Let's get to work. With Kira on board, Jax felt a surge of confidence. Her presence, a visible icon on his ship character sheet, provided immediate, tangible benefits. The Iron Serpent now had access to emergency power reroute and the resourceful scavenger trait, even before Kira laid a single tool on the core. Their first task, find a discrete location to properly power up and begin rebuilding the Iron Serpent. Kira, with her extensive knowledge of overlooked and forgotten corners of the galaxy, had just the place. There's an old, unmapped nebula, Kira explained, poring over navigation charts in the rust bucket's cramped cockpit. Full of ionized gas clouds, stellar dust, and radiation spikes. No one goes there. It's too dangerous for regular travel, but perfect for hiding a hulking piece of a derelict. They set course, towing the Iron Serpent core section. The journey was arduous, navigating the treacherous nebula in the rust bucket. But Kira's navigational expertise, even without specific system skills for it, her practical knowledge was immense, proved invaluable. As they plunged deeper into the nebula, Jax's legacy core's anomalous signal detection, passive, began to hum faintly. Anomalous signal detected, stable energy anomaly, Tier 1, unique. Description: a powerful, stable energy source is hidden within the nebula. New quest, the nebula's heart. Objective: locate and access the stable energy anomaly. Reward: 200 ship experience, stable core conduit, epic module, access to a hidden base. Looks like your unmapped nebula is full of surprises, Kira, Jax said, pointing at the flickering signal on his console. Kira's eyes widened. A stable energy anomaly? In this mess? That's unheard of. This could power the Iron Serpent for decades. They navigated through the blinding gas clouds and treacherous radiation storms, the rust bucket's ancient shields groaning under the strain. Kira, using emergency power reroute, now accessible via the Iron Serpent and effectively managed by her, diverted what little reserve power the rust bucket had to stabilize their trajectory. They eventually found it, a colossal, hollowed-out asteroid, its interior glowing with a soft, steady energy. It was a natural occurring fusion reactor, completely stable and benign. At its core was a perfect crystalline spire of pure energy. It was beautiful and utterly hidden. Stable energy anomaly found. Quest, the nebula's heart, complete. You have gained 200 ship experience. Ship name? Iron Serpent has leveled up. Iron Serpent is now level 3. New module acquired, stable core conduit, epic. Access granted, hidden nebula base. The Iron Serpent had leveled up again, and it came with a stable core conduit, which would dramatically improve its power output and efficiency. More importantly, they now had a hidden base nestled within the asteroid, perfectly camouflaged. Ship character sheet. Name, Iron Serpent class, derelict scavenger, tier 0, level 3 hull. Integrity, 25-100, damaged, shield capacity, 050, offline. Speed, 550, impulse only. Power. Output, 0-100, offline, now has access to stable power source. Weapon systems, 0-0, offline. Engineering, basic, efficiency, 5%, basic hull systems redundancy, emergency power reroute, from Kira. Astrometrics, basic, accuracy 10%. Crew capacity, 1-1. Kira, Tech Adept LVL 5. Experience, 0-400. Jax allocated his new skill point from level 3. He decided to focus on engineering again, opting for basic hull structure design. He needed to build proper sections for the Iron Serpent, not just have a giant core. Skill point allocated to basic hull structure design. Basic hull structure. Design, passive. Allows the creation of basic ship components, cockpit, crew quarters, cargo holds, from raw materials. Efficiency, 10%. With a stable power source and a secure location, it was time to begin the actual construction. Kira, her eyes gleaming with excitement, immediately went to work. "All right, Captain," she said, pulling out a battered toolkit. "First, we link the core to this anomaly. Then, we can start fabricating actual sections. We'll need a cockpit, power conduits, life support, this organic hull plating, and bioconductive wiring will be perfect for a prototype." They spent the next several days immersed in the construction. Kira was a marvel, her hands moving with astonishing speed and precision. Jax, guided by the Iron Serpent's basic hull structure design passive skill, provided the raw materials he'd scavenged and learned quickly. He was becoming more than just a scavenger. He was becoming a shipwright, a builder. They built a small rudimentary cockpit welded onto the side of the core section. Then a basic life support system, powered by the core's connection to the energy anomaly. Slowly, piece by piece, the Iron Serpent was beginning to resemble a true starship. It was still ugly, a patchwork of alien organic materials and scavenged metal, but it was functional. As the cockpit was completed and the first wave of internal systems came online, Jax physically entered the Iron Serpent. The connection to his ship was even more profound now. The main console flickered to life, showing the ship character sheet now fully integrated. He could feel every hum of the engine, every pulse of power. He was truly bonded. The newly constructed cockpit of the Iron Serpent was crude but functional. Jax settled into the pilot's seat, the controls rough beneath his fingers. Kira was busy in a makeshift engineering bay, rerouting power from the stable core conduit and installing the organic hull plating. The ship felt responsive, eager. Despite its Frankenstein-like appearance, ship character sheet. Name Iron Serpent class, derelict scavenger, tier 0, level 3 hull integrity, 50-100, improved. Shield capacity, 050, offline. Speed 2050, basic engines online. Power output 5100, stable. Weapon systems 00, offline. Engineering, basic, efficiency 15%, basic hull systems redundancy, emergency power reroute, basic hull structure design, astrometrics basic, accuracy 10%. Crew capacity 1-1, Kira, Tech Adept LVL 5. Experience 0400. The organic hull plating had boosted the hull integrity to 50, and the new, though basic, impulse engines now allowed for limited spaceflight. They still had no shields or weapon systems, which was a critical problem. "All right, Kira," Jax said, turning in his pilot's chair. "We're online. What's next? We need weapons and shields before we can even think about paying off Kael." Kira, covered in grease, emerged from the engineering section. "We need more advanced materials, Captain. The alien data fragment you found in the asteroid. I think I can decrypt some of it. It might lead us to a better module or a blueprint." New quest, decrypt the alien data. Description, decrypt the alien data fragment to uncover ancient alien schematics. Objective, successfully decrypt 1X, alien data fragment. Reward, 100 ship experience, ancient alien blueprint, rare. "Sounds like a plan," Jax agreed. He handed her the 2 alien data fragments he'd collected. Kira set up a makeshift decryption station, rigging a scavenged processor to the Iron Serpent's nascent data core. Hours passed. Then, the console beeped triumphantly. "Alien data fragment 1.2, decrypted. You have gained 100 ship experience. Ship name, Iron Serpent has leveled up. Iron Serpent is now level 4. New module acquired. Ancient alien blueprint, rare. Ship character sheet. Name, Iron Serpent class, derelict scavenger. Tier 0, level 4, hull integrity 5100. Shield capacity 050, speed 2050. Power output 5100, weapon systems 00. Engineering, basic, efficiency 15%. Basic hull systems redundancy, emergency power reroute. Basic hull structure design, astrometrics, basic, accuracy 10%. Crew capacity 1/1, Kira, Tech Adept LVL 5. Experience 00500. Jax allocated his new skill point, prioritizing shield systems integration under engineering. Skill point allocated to shield systems integration. Shield systems integration, passive, allows the installation and basic operation of energy shields. Efficiency 10%. Kira examined the ancient alien blueprint. Her eyes widened. "Captain, this isn't just a blueprint. It's for a graviton shield generator. And the other fragment? It points to a specific location where we might find the components." New quest, seek the graviton components. Description, locate and retrieve the components for the graviton shield generator, hidden within an ancient alien anomaly. Objective, travel to coordinates, XXXX, YZZs. Reward, 300 ship experience, graviton shield generator, module. Epic. This was exactly what they needed. A high-level shield, courtesy of the Legacy Core's unique compatibility, but as they prepared to depart, the second alien data fragment, Kira was working on, suddenly flared, its console emitting a high-pitched shriek. Anomaly detected, dormant alien entity awakened. Warning. Psionic signature detected. Warning. Abyssal-class threat approaching. "What was that?" Jax exclaimed, his blood running cold. His Legacy Core trait had just detected something truly terrifying. Kira frantically typed at the console. The other data fragment. It wasn't just data. It was a dormant psychic beacon. "Something has hurt us, Captain. Something ancient." On the long-range scanner, a single massive blip appeared, moving with alarming speed. It wasn't a ship. It was far too large, too amorphous. It pulsed with a dark, terrifying energy that seemed to devour the light around it. Threat detected. Void Leviathan. Boss, level 20. Warning. Void Leviathan is a planetary class threat. Evasion recommended. Warning. Void Leviathan is attracted to Legacy Core energy signatures. New quest, flee the Leviathan. Description, escape the wrath of the Void Leviathan. Objective, reach the jump point to the graviton component's coordinates. Reward, 500 ship experience, a Void Whisper, trait. Rare, if successful. Void Leviathan? Jax gulped. Attracted to the legacy core? He was riding a giant beacon in a universe full of things that wanted to eat it. Kira, forget the components, we just need to run. Full power to engines. Engage jump drive. Kira, her green face pale, was already wrestling with the controls. Engines are at max, Captain. But our jump drive needs a charge. We need a few more minutes. Outside, a colossal shadow fell over their hidden asteroid base. A massive tentacled horror, covered in jagged plates, slowly revealed itself from the nebula's gloom, its eyes glowing with malevolent psychic energy fixed on the Iron Serpent's core. The ghost of the serpent had awakened something far more ancient and far more hungry. The Void Leviathan was a nightmare given form, a colossal organism of teeth, tentacles, and void-eating maw. Its psychic presence hammered against Jax's mind, a primal hunger for the unique energy of the Iron Serpent's legacy core. The Iron Serpent, despite its recent upgrades, was a level 4 derelict turned ship, barely a speck compared to the level 20 boss. Jump drive charge at 60%, Captain, Kira yelled, her voice strained as she wrestled with the overloaded power conduits. The Leviathan's energy signature is causing interference. The Iron Serpent's internal alarms blared. The Leviathan had launched an attack, massive corrosive energy blasts that were tearing through the asteroid around their hidden base. Jax watched on the main view screen as huge chunks of rock vaporized. Their rudimentary hull integrity was not going to last. Warning. Hull integrity critically low, 30%. Warning. Void Leviathan psychic assault. Astrometric systems are under attack. Kira, divert all non-essential power to the jump drive. Shields would be nice, but we don't have them yet, Jax commanded, his voice surprisingly steady despite the terror. Any other options? Kira slammed her fist on the console. There's a risk. I can try to overload the main power conduit for a faster charge, but it could fry the entire system, maybe even destroy the core. Do it! Jax yelled, knowing it was their only chance. We're dead if we stay. If we go, at least there's a chance. Kira initiated the overload sequence, sparks flying from the console. The jump drive's charge rate spiked dangerously. Jump drive charge 75%. 85%? 95%. Warning! Core overload imminent. The Leviathan, sensing their escape attempt, unleashed another barrage of corrosive energy, slamming into the Iron Serpent's hull. Hull integrity critically low. 15%. Jax clenched his teeth. The ship was dying around them. He had one last trick. He focused on his ship's inherent derelict scavenger ability, an instinctual understanding of vulnerabilities. He looked at the Leviathan. Void Leviathan. Boss level 20. Weakness. Detected. High energy density makes it susceptible to focused power discharges. Brief stun chance if overloaded. Kira, aim the main power conduit vent at the Leviathan's head. I'm going to try something stupid. What? We need that power for the jump. I know, just aim it. As the jump drive hit 99%, Jax performed a desperate, almost suicidal maneuver. He activated emergency power reroute on the Iron Serpent, diverting all remaining power, including the jump drive's almost complete charge, into a single, focused energy vent located near the core. This was pure overload. A frantic discharge. Heretical technique discovered. Overcharged ejection vent. Description. Diverts and overcharges all available ship power into a single focused energy expulsion. Deals massive damage to target, but leaves ship completely drained and vulnerable. Power cost all. Cooldown, instant system shutdown. Warning. May cause permanent system damage. Use with extreme caution. A blinding blue-white beam of raw, unstable energy erupted from the Iron Serpent's side, lancing out and striking the Void Leviathan directly in its central eye. The Leviathan shrieked, a sound that tore at the fabric of space, its colossal form writhing. It was stunned just for a moment. Jump drive now! Jax roared. It's on 0 power, Captain! Kira cried, but she slammed the jump button anyway, and then a miracle. Or perhaps the unique trait of the Legacy Core asserting itself. Legacy Core trait, emergency jump override activated. Warning. Jump initiated with insufficient power. Destination calculation highly unstable. The Iron Serpent shimmered, the stars outside stretching into impossibly long streaks. They hadn't fully charged. The jump was uncontrolled, unstable, but it was a jump. The Leviathan's enraged roar was cut off as they vanished into the silent void of hyperspace. When they reappeared, it wasn't at the Graviton component's coordinates. They were adrift in a desolate, eerily beautiful sector, surrounded by nebula clouds unlike any Jax had ever seen. The Iron Serpent was dead in the water, systems offline, hull integrity at 1%, and the cockpit was depressurizing. Kira was unconscious, slumped over her console, but they were alive. And the Leviathan was gone. Quest: flee the Leviathan. Complete! You have gained 500 ship experience. Ship name Iron Serpent has leveled up. Iron Serpent is now level 5. New trait acquired: Void Whisper trait, rare. Void Whisper trait, passive. Grants minor resistance to psionic attacks and enhanced stealth in nebula environments. Also, may subtly attract other void-dwelling entities. Warning: critical damage! Hull integrity 1%. Life support failing. Warning: crewmate Kira unconscious, critical. New urgent quest: survival. Description: repair critical damage and stabilize life support. Objective: restore hull integrity to 25%. Reactivate life support. Stabilize Kira. Reward: 300 ship experience. Emergency medkit, consumable. Buppy, barely conscious himself, forced himself to move. They had survived, but just barely. Jax dragged Kira's unconscious form into the rust bucket, sealing the airlock just as the Iron Serpent's cockpit fully depressurized. He administered a crude stim pack, hoping it would revive her. Miraculously, Kira stirred, groaning. Captain, what happened? She mumbled, her green skin pale. We jumped. Barely. Leviathan's gone. Iron Serpent is a wreck. You're alive, Jax summarized, already scrambling to jury-rig a connection from the rust bucket to the Iron Serpent's core. He had to repair it. Urgent quest: survival. Objective: restore hull integrity to 25%, reactivate life support, stabilize Kira. He had 10x organic hull plating and 5x bioconductive wiring left from the living asteroid. Not much, but it was a start. He linked the rust bucket's limited repair drones to the Iron Serpent. Repair hull integrity, 125%. Requires 10x organic hull plating. He had exactly 10. He initiated the repair. The drones, working from the outside, patched the gaping holes in the Iron Serpent's hull with the organic plating, sealing the breaches. Hull integrity restored to 25%. One objective down, now life support. Reactivate life support. Requires 5x bioconductive wiring, 1x power cell, common. He had the wiring but no power cell. His legacy core's anomalous signal detection, passive, flickered faintly. Something nearby, but it was incredibly weak. Kira, can you scan for anything? Any salvage, any power cells? Jax asked. Kira, still groggy, ran a diagnostic. Weak signal. Faint power signature. Looks like a small derelict pod, Captain. Barely functional. Might have a power cell. Let's go, Jax said. He set a course for the faint signal, leaving the Iron Serpent core adrift, still technically his ship. The derelict pod was a tiny escape pod-sized vessel, its outer hull corroded. As they approached, Jax's legacy core trait, now strengthened by Void Whisper, detected a new anomaly. Detected psionic echo, Tier 1, unique. Description: a powerful, lingering psionic echo permeates this derelict pod, likely a remnant of its former occupant. Action available: investigate anomaly, scavenge pod. He chose investigate anomaly. He entered the pod carefully. Inside, amidst the dust and decay, sat a skeletal figure in a ruined pilot's uniform. His gaze, however, was drawn to a faint shimmering outline hovering near the skull. It was a digital ghost, a fragment of code. Psionic echo detected. Pilot spirit. Crewmate, ghost. Class: Ghost pilot. Level 8. Skills: Evasion specialist. Hyperspace navigation, advanced. Psychic resilience. Trait: Ethereal guidance. Plus 20% evasion. plus 10% hyperspace jump accuracy. Current status. Dormant requires bonding with a compatible core. A ghost crewmate? This was even stranger than a living asteroid. And a level 8 pilot with advanced hyperspace navigation. This could solve their speed and evasion problems, and prevent future unplanned jumps. New quest, recruit the ghost pilot. Description, bond the pilot spirit to the Iron Serpent core. Objective, successfully bond pilot spirit, IRO 1. Reward, 200 ship experience and pilot spirit, crewmate acquired. He still needed that power cell. He scavenged the pod, finding a single, albeit old, power cell, common. Power cell, common, acquired. He returned to the rust bucket and reactivated the Iron Serpent's life support. Life support reactivated. Urgent quest, survival. Complete! You have gained 300 ship experience. Ship name, Iron Serpent has leveled up. Iron Serpent is now level 6. New item acquired, emergency medkit when consumable. Jax now faced a choice. Take the power cell or try to bond with the ghost. No, he had to revive Kira first. He used the emergency medkit on Kira, bringing her back to full consciousness. What was that? Kira asked, fully alert now. I felt something strange. A ghost, Jax replied. A ghost pilot. Want to add him to the crew? Kira blinked. A ghost pilot? You're serious, aren't you? Fine. If he can navigate us out of this cosmic backwater, I'm in. Jax, with Kira's reluctant approval, returned to the derelict pod. He channeled his connection to the Iron Serpent core, reaching out to the pilot's spirit. The digital ghost shimmered, then slowly flowed into Jax and through him into the distant core. Crewmate acquired, pilot's spirit. Ghost pilot, level 8. Crew slot 22, max for derelict scavenger tier 0. Pilot spirits, ghost pilot class skills and traits are now available to the Iron Serpent. Ship name, Iron Serpent has gained new skill option, evasion maneuvers, basic, active. From pilot spirits evasion specialist. Ship name, Iron Serpent has gained passive trait, ethereal guidance. From pilot spirit. Ship name, Iron Serpent has gained new skill option, hyperspace jump coordination, basic, active. From pilot spirit's hyperspace navigation. You have gained 200 ship experience. Ship name, Iron Serpent has leveled up. Iron Serpent is now level 7. Jax could feel the distinct, focused intelligence of the ghost pilot now, a calm, experienced presence added to the core. He now had 2 crewmates, fulfilling his maximum crew capacity for his current class. He was a small ragtag fleet ready for anything, or at least ready to attempt anything. With a functioning, if still battle-scarred Iron Serpent and a full complement of crew, 1 flesh, 1 ghost, Jax felt ready to tackle the galaxy again. Kira was expertly repairing the minor systems, and the pilot spirit, an ethereal presence in the cockpit, guided them with unerring precision. Ship character sheet. Name, Iron Serpent class, derelict scavenger. Tier 0, level 7 hull, integrity 25/100. Shield capacity 050 speed 2050. Power output 5100 weapon systems 000. Engineering basic efficiency 25%, basic hull systems redundancy. Emergency power reroute, basic hull structure design. Shield systems integration, astrometrics, basic, accuracy 30%. Hyperspace jump coordination, basic. Crew capacity 2-2, Kira, Tech Adept LVL 5. Pilot Spirit, Ghost Pilot LVL 8. Experience, 0800. Jax had 2 skill points available from his last level ups. He allocated one to advanced hull structure design and the other to shield systems integration, wanting to get shields online as soon as possible. Skill point allocated to advanced hull structure design. Advanced hull structure design, passive. Allows the creation of reinforced ship components and basic weapon mounts. Efficiency, 25%. Skill point allocated to shield systems integration. Shield systems integration, passive. Allows the installation and efficient operation of energy shields. Efficiency, 25%. Their next objective, retrieve the components for the Graviton shield generator. The pilot spirit, with its hyperspace navigation advanced skill, quickly plotted a stable jump course. "Captain, coordinates are locked," the ghost's voice echoed in Jax's mind. "Initiating jump in 3, 2, 1. The jump was smooth, precise, a stark contrast to their chaotic escape from the Leviathan. They arrived in a nebula of shimmering crystalline structures. This was the location of the graviton components. Quest: seek the graviton components. Objective: locate and retrieve the components for the graviton shield generator, hidden within an ancient alien anomaly. The anomaly was a massive, derelict alien factory, its structures made of a translucent blue crystal. It pulsed with a faint energy. Anomaly detected. Crystallized factory. Tier 1, unique. Description: an ancient alien factory, abandoned but still operational, producing strange crystalline entities. Warning! Active defensive systems detected. Active defensive systems? Of course, Jax sighed. Nothing is ever easy. They infiltrated the factory, Jax piloting the Iron Serpent directly, using its improved speed and the pilot spirit's evasion maneuvers basic to avoid energy blasts from crystalline turrets. Kira, meanwhile, directed the basic repair drone to hack into the factory's systems using her droid tinkerer skill. Kira, Tech Adept LVL5, is attempting to hack the crystallized factory. Hack progress 10%, 25%, 50%. Warning! Factory Guardians activated. Threat level, moderate. Crystalline entities, Crystal Sentinels in level 10, began to emerge from the factory floor, their forms shimmering. They were launching energy blasts at the Iron Serpent's unshielded hull. Hull integrity, 20%. 15%, Kira. We need shields now, Jax yelled, expertly dodging a blast. Almost there, Captain. Hack progress at 90%, 99%. Success. Crystallized factory hacked. Defensive systems disabled. New access granted, component fabrication bay. New quest objective: retrieve graviton components from fabrication bay. With the defenses offline, Jax guided the Iron Serpent into the fabrication bay. There, sitting on an ancient pedestal, were the gleaming, intricate components for the graviton shield generator. They retrieved them, and Kira immediately began the installation process. Utilizing her hull plating specialist and Jax's shield systems integration skills, graviton shield generator components acquired. Quest: seek the graviton components, complete. You have gained 300 ship experience. Ship name: Iron Serpent has leveled up. Iron Serpent is now level 8. New module acquired: graviton shield generator, epic. Ship character sheet: name: Iron Serpent class, derelict scavenger, tier 0. Level, 8 hull, integrity, 25 to 100 shield capacity, 50-50, graviton shields online. Speed, 20-50 power. Output, 50-100 weapon systems, 0-0 offline. Engineering, basic, efficiency 25%, basic hull systems redundancy, emergency power reroute, basic hull structure design, shield systems integration, advanced hull structure design, astrometrics, basic, accuracy 30%, hyperspace jump coordination, basic, crew capacity 2-2 experience 0 to 900 shields. A fully operational graviton shield generator. Jax felt a wave of relief. This was huge. They now had a legitimate defense. They were no longer flying a glorified armored coffin. All right, Kira, pilot spirit, Jax said, a grin spreading across his face. Time to go pay a visit to Kael the Brutal. The Iron Serpent, no longer just a derelict, was ready for its true ascent. The Iron Serpent, now equipped with powerful graviton shields, was a different beast. It was still ugly, a patchwork of organic and metallic hull, but it pulsed with a newfound confidence. Jax at the helm felt its power, a seamless extension of his will. Kira worked diligently in engineering, and the pilot spirit provided constant, reassuring guidance. Ship character sheet. Name: Iron Serpent class and derelict scavenger. Tier 0, level 8. Hull integrity 25 to 100. Shield capacity 50-50, graviton shields online. Speed 20-50 power output. 50 to 100 weapon systems. 0-0 offline. Engineering: basic, efficiency 25%. Basic hull systems redundancy. Emergency power reroute, basic hull structure design, shield systems integration, advanced hull structure design, astrometrics, basic, accuracy 30%, hyperspace jump coordination basic, crew capacity, 2.2 experience. 0900 Jax had 2 skill points from his last level up. He used them both on weapon systems integration and advanced weapon mounts, completing his path to equipping offensive power. Skill point allocated to weapon systems integration. Weapon systems integration, passive, allows the installation and basic operation of energy weapons. Efficiency 10%. Skill point allocated to advanced weapon mounts. Advanced weapon mounts, passive, allows installation of larger, more powerful weapon modules. Efficiency 20%. Their target, Kael the Brutal's orbital station, the Iron Fist, a heavily armed fortress notorious for its impregnable defenses. Jax wasn't going there to pay his debt. He was going to wipe it clean and then some. He had the 3 dormant neural tissue modules from the living asteroid. These were powerful. He had a hunch about them. "Kira," Jax commanded, "I want you to integrate the dormant neural tissue into a weapon system. Use advanced weapon mounts and jury-rigged solutions to make it fire." Kira looked at him, her eyes wide. "Captain, that's organic alien tissue. It's not meant to be a cannon. It could explode. That's why we have graviton shields," Jax grinned. "And the Iron Serpent's legacy core. It wants this. Make it work." Kira, ever the resourceful engineer, went to work. Hours later, the Iron Serpent's hull pulsed. 3 grotesque organic cannons made of the dormant neural tissue and pulsating bioconductive wiring extended from its hull. They looked less like weapons and more like predatory alien mouths. Temporary weapon system created. Neural pulse cannons. 3X. Epic. Description: fires focused blasts of psionic energy, capable of disrupting enemy shields and systems. Deals moderate damage, high system disruption chance. Duration: 10 minutes. Power cost: 10 per cannon per shot. Note: highly unstable. May cause psychic feedback to the crew. Psychic feedback? Nice, Jax muttered. He felt a faint headache already. They warped to Kael's station, the new neural pulse cannons humming with dark power. The Iron Fist was bristling with defensive turrets, but Jax now had a plan. "Kira, keep those shields up. Pilot spirit, evasive maneuvers. I'm going in hot." The Iron Serpent plunged into the station's defensive perimeter. Enemy fighters, brutal enforcers, level 12, swarmed them. Their energy blasts hammered against the Iron Serpent's graviton shields in which held firm. "Shields holding at 80%, Captain." Kira reported, expertly managing power distribution. "Good." Pilot spirit, evasion maneuvers, basic. "Draw their fire!" The ghost pilot executed dizzying barrel rolls and tight turns, making the Iron Serpent an impossible target. "Now, Iron Serpent," Jax snarled, "show them what a legacy core can do. Fire, neural pulse cannons. Target, shield generators!" The organic cannons glowed with an eerie green light, then unleashed 3 concentrated bursts of psionic energy. The blasts ripped through the void, bypassing the enemy fighters' weak shields, slamming directly into the Iron Fist's massive shield generators. Iron Fist shield generator, 1-3, destroyed. Shields at 60%. Iron Fist shield generator, 2-3, destroyed. Shields at 20%. Kael's fighters, their systems scrambling from the psychic disruption, became easy targets for another round of neural pulse cannons. Their ships exploded, not with fire, but with implosions of agony. Brutal Enforcer, 1-3, destroyed. Brutal Enforcer, 2-3, destroyed. You have gained 50 ship experience. You have gained 50 ship experience. Jax pressed the attack, ignoring the growing psychic strain. He systematically dismantled the station's defenses, his neural pulse cannons ripping through turrets and fighter bays. The Iron Fist, once impregnable, was crumbling. Finally, Kael's command bridge was exposed. A furious Kael the Brutal appeared on the comms, his face purple with rage. "Jax Rylan, you dare attack me? I'll string you up by your... What in the hell's is that thing?" "This Kael," Jax said, his voice cold, "is the Iron Serpent, and your debt is officially cleared." With interest, he unleashed a final devastating volley of neural pulse cannons at the bridge. The Iron Fist's command center erupted in a silent explosion of psychic energy, then collapsed. Kael the Brutal, Boss, level 15, defeated. The Iron Fist station destroyed. You have gained 1,000 ship experience. Ship name, Iron Serpent has leveled up. Iron Serpent is now level 9. Class upgraded. Derelict Scavenger has evolved into Ascendant Salvager, Tier 1. New skill tree unlocked, Legacy Alien Weapons. New trait acquired, Notorious Reputation, Criminal. Jax felt a massive surge of power, a profound shift in the Iron Serpent's very being. His class had evolved, Ascendant Salvager, and a Legacy Alien Weapons skill tree. The neural pulse cannons winked out, their temporary duration exhausted, but it didn't matter. He was stronger, his ship a true force. Captain, Kira said, looking at him with newfound respect. What do we do now? You just took down a crime boss and leveled us into a new class. Jax looked at the stars, then at his glowing, powerful ship character sheet. He was no longer a down-on-his-luck scavenger. He was the captain of the Iron Serpent, a unique ship powered by an ancient legacy core, a vessel capable of incredible feats. He had a crew, power, and a reputation. Now, Kira, Jax said, a dangerous glint in his eye. Now, we finally start exploring this galaxy. There are more derelicts, more anomalies, more ancient technologies out there, and the Iron Serpent is hungry for them all. The universe was vast, full of dangers and secrets, and the Starship Ascendant, reborn from a derelict, was finally ready to claim its destiny.